Okay. Great. We are recording and the chat's open in case anybody wants to type in questions. Welcome. Welcome everyone. I am Stephanie Early, and in case you don't know me, I am a faculty advisor for this chapter of National Technical Honor Society. I am also an instructor of business law and business ethics, and I am leading today's chapter meeting. Hopefully we'll have some more people adding in. This is our March meeting and we have a guest speaker today, Robin Eisenbeis. I'll introduce her in a second. This is our first meeting of the spring semester, so hopefully we have some new students joining in. And if you are not a member, we have some forms to fill out. We welcome anybody with a 3.0 or higher in their technical major, and we love new members. So welcome, welcome. And if you're new this semester, please stay after the guest speaker so we can introduce ourselves and welcome you, and if any new members have any questions, we're happy to answer. Okay, great. Let's see. And before I introduce our guest speaker, I'd like to just let you know that she'll speak for about 30 minutes, and then we'll have a question and answer period at the end. So feel free to hold your questions till the end. We'll have plenty of time. However, Robin Eisenbeis has said that she's going to make it a little interactive. So if she asks questions, feel free to participate, take your mics off mute and participate so we can make this interactive and get the most out of today's presentation. Any questions before we get started? All right, great. So with no further ado, I will introduce our guest speaker, Robin Eisenbeis. Welcome. She is an entrepreneur, and we're big on that in our business administration department, promoting entrepreneurship. She is the owner of Bluebird Lifestyle Solutions, where she helps improve the health and mindset of others, and she is a goal setter and a goal achiever. She's a professional networker, and now she is an author. Congratulations. Her book just came out yesterday?
Yes, yesterday.
Wow. So that's fantastic. So we have some applause from attendees.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've included the link, the Amazon link to her book in our chat today. So if you want to check out or purchase her book, especially after you hear her pearls of wisdom she has to share today, the book is called A Gift for Life, which is fantastic. Oh, there it is. A Gift for Life, skills everyone needs to win. So how fantastic is that? So hopefully she'll discuss her book today. And lastly, and most importantly, I can attest from firsthand experience that she is a thoughtful, positive friend, neighbor, wife, mother, and member of our community. So welcome, Robin.
Thank you,
I'll put myself on mute and I'll take my picture off so you have the full screen today. So thanks for joining us.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all. I am super excited to be here. There we go. Let's see. Can you all see me? Hopefully. I just see a very tiny picture of me. So
we can see. I can see it.
Perfect. All right. So I'm used to Zoom where it's like a really big picture. So I'm just going to pretend that that's how it is. So thank you, Stephanie, for inviting me. As Stephanie mentioned, I am a first-time author. In fact, last night we were able, my family and I, to open the box. I ordered 100 books just to get started. of my book that's called A Gift for Life, Skills Everyone Needs to Win. And I actually started writing this for my children. We have 3 children, my husband and I. They are 26, 24, and 20. And I am sharing in this book 4 powers. And when Stephanie asked me to speak, she said, I listened to one of your podcasts. I was a guest on a really great podcast called Mind, Body, Soul. And she said it was just so inspiring. And, I talked a lot about business, but also just my personal goals. And so that's what I want to do today for the next about 30 minutes. So in my book, I talk about the 4 powers. So like right on the flap of the book, I have 4 powers that I have found work really well with my success. And I'm going to go through those 4 powers. The first is, and if you want to write some notes down, or I'm sure Stephanie, you're recording this and you can listen to it later. But the first one is becoming a master at remembering names. And I would love, if you can maybe just give me like a hands up. I think you can do that this is the first time I've used this Microsoft team, but just give me a hands up if you are somebody that struggles with remembering names. If you find that it's challenging, all right, I see 1, 2, it's 3, 4. Yes, it's really difficult. And I have found that when you're meeting new people, you're so like trying to listen to, who they are, what they do, maybe it's a new environment for you. And I'd like to give the example, Jasmine got on a little bit early, and so I had a minute just to talk with her. We both are from Durham, or live in Durham, which is awesome. And so the minute she said her name, I actually said, you have a beautiful name. And so that gave her an opportunity to kind of explain her name, and luckily she did. And Jasmine, can you just unmute yourself for a moment and just explain, because it was beautifully said. And I'd love for everybody just to hear how you, explained your name, where it came from.
Yeah, absolutely. So my family is from Manila in the Philippines. They came here in the 70s, and I am named after the national flower of the Philippines, which is jasmine, or also sampaguita. But yeah, I feel really connected to it.
So isn't that cool? I love that. So that's something I do, and what I talk about in my book is when you are meeting somebody new, because when you hear people's names, you want to really master that name, because that is the most important word to them. And let's see, do I need to do anything here? I don't think so. So for example, Jasmine had told me about this really cool place in Durham. And, if I happened to walk in there and I would recognize her, I would remember her name, because I have said her name several times in my head when she was speaking. I know it's the national flower of the Philippines, and that she feels very connected. And I actually would picture the flower as well. So I have found that has been a really great way to successfully build relationships with people. I try wherever I go. We have this game when we go out for dinner. Last night we went out to celebrate my new book, and the server's name was Season. And again, when you start to listen or like look at people's names that they have a name tag on, and I asked her, about her name. I said, I love your name, and she explained why her mom chose it. She loves all 4 seasons. Everybody has a different story. But what I do then is, like, half hour into the conversation, dinner, I'll ask the family, who remembers our server's name? And they all do now, because they know that is going to be something that we bring up. So I really encourage people. In my book, I talk about this. When you go into a coffee shop, look at the person's name, the barista. They always have their name tag on, and use their name. They ask us for our name to put our name on the coffee. But it's really nice to get to know their name, and then most likely they're probably working the next day, and you can go in and say, hi, Kara, great to see you again. and they look shocked. Because they have no idea how you remember their name. They, may forget that their name tags on, but the fact that you remembered their name and spoke it is a really great way to build a relationship. So the first part of the book, like I said, is remembering names. I feel like that is the most important skill you can learn. And my dad gave my twin brother and I it was kind of an unusual gift as a high school gift, but I have used it every day since. It was, I don't know if you've heard of the author Dale Carnegie. He wrote a book called How to Remember Friends, or How to Win Friends and Influence People. Raise your hand if you've heard that book. Okay. If you've not, I definitely would recommend, you can listen to it on Audible. It's a small book. It's very, very good. That was our gift. It was a weekend of Dale Carnegie learning how to remember names. And I have carried that with me. And I share a lot of stories that I believe will really help you as you are professionals, as you will be graduating. I don't know if everybody's like graduating soon, but just as you're living your life, you can really practice the names. And then in that same chapter, I talk a lot about networking. And I feel like I can network anywhere I go, again, at the coffee shop. If you work in a coffee shop, you probably see the same people, just even introducing yourself and just, hey, I see that we're both here. What kind of work do you do? It's pretty amazing. And so on pages 36 and 37 of my book, I just want to give you the highlights of remembering names and networking. Okay, this book is brand new and I need to kind of open it a little bit more. So the name power recap, as I mentioned, when introducing yourself to someone new, focus on their name, repeat their name, and quickly come up with an association to help you remember their name. And if you can't think of something, just ask them, how did your parents name you? And then you remember that. When you are meeting new people, and some of these things are really basic, but I like to share it because I think it's so important. When you're meeting new people, look them in the eyes, and when you shake, you always shake obviously with the right hand, with a very stiff arm. So it's like, it's not a weak handshake. And my dad used to practice with my brother and I until we would have a really good handshake. One thing that I like to do, and I talk about it in my book, is I ask form questions. So you ask the person that you're talking to, the acronym is FORM. So it's family, occupation, recreation, and what matters. I find it really interesting to ask people what they love to do in their free time. And, maybe it's a kayaking and you love to be on the water and you've been looking for a kayaking buddy. You can make a time to go out and meet that person to kayak. One thing that has really helped me is I make notes in my phone under the contacts. So for Jasmine, I would actually put, Wake Tech National Honor Society, named after the state, Philippine flower, the national flower of the Philippines. It is amazing. And then what you can do is, let's just say you don't remember, let's just say I would forget her name. I could just type in flower and it'll pop up Jasmine's name because I think that's probably the only person I know that I've, put that term in there. And so there's several things. I have about 10 more things, but I'm going to keep going on. But this is, like I said, on page 36 and 37. One thing that I'm a big advocate of is sending thank you notes after, if there's somebody that you met, maybe they treated you to coffee. I keep right on my desk this huge box of note cards. And so I have birthdays. I always try to send everybody a birthday card that I know. Just a simple thank you note. We are such, obviously in the technology world, but to get a handwritten letter is really important and really fun and memorable. So the second power that I talk about is pay yourself first. And I really thought this would be a good one to share with this group because you are all working towards some very big goals with your, business. I'm forgetting the other careers, but with your career. And one thing that I learned a long time ago is, and maybe you've heard of this before, is called Pay Yourself First. So you may not be making income yet. You may have a side job. What I did when I started my business, I have a health and wellness business I started 10 years ago, is I gave myself a percentage. It's a sales position, so every month is a little bit different. So I would put 10% in. I had all these different, I had 4 categories. I had my business category, which is where I had about 50%. And then I divided the other 3 categories. I have taxes, which is really important when you own your own business. So when April 15th comes, you don't have to scramble for money. You already have it set aside. So I have taxes. I have like a team account. So if I want to take out one of my teammates, I have money in that account where it's not coming out of, my regular account. And then I have one for travel. So when it's time to go on a trip with our family, I have the money already saved. And what I love about this is you don't even miss it. Once you get into this pattern of paying yourself first, I have it set up for my bank to actually put 50% into my main account, and then the 20%, 10%, the different figures automatically. So I do not even see it, but I can open my phone up and I can see I have $2,000 in my travel account, or I have $1,000 in my taxes, whatever the numbers are. And so I think that's a really important skill to learn, because as we all know, it's easy to have more month than money. So basically saying we spend more than we earn, and that is not fun. And it's also not fun to have a credit card that, it's just like, oh, I'll just charge this. And then when you get the bill, you're not able to pay off the credit card. So I go into a lot of detail in my book about, how investing and choosing credit cards and saving your money. And it really, really works. And I've taught our 3 children to do the same. And it's great for them to know that they can save money while they're working. So the third power is titled, Are You Dreaming? So if I can see you if you can raise your hand, if you've ever done a vision board, and I have a couple here to show you, do a little show and tell. This is one of mine, if you can see that. And I have one for every year. I have them all right here. And you can do different sizes of the boards. This one I did a little bit smaller. And I keep these up in my office so I can see what my goals are. So, for example, for this year, I have a lot about my book, because obviously that's what I was working on. I have a lot about spending time with family, because that is a huge, for me, I just feel like the more I can see and spend time with my children, and now 2 are out of college and 1 is a sophomore. She plays field hockey at UNC. And so we try to make as many opportunities as we can to get together. So I love it. So Jessica Cotton, I saw you have raised your hand. If there's anything you want to share about that, if you've maybe done it over the years, I can explain just briefly. The way I do it is I go to Barnes & Noble and I just buy a whole bunch of magazines. I also save magazines throughout the year. And then I'll have a few friends over and I just start tearing out things that interest me. I don't think about it. So like for this one, I have a lot of nature on here. I'm really into just being outside. I have money because I have a lot of goals that involve money, travel, art of influence. I love to inspire and be an influence on others. Financial freedom is not an amount of money. Here you can see how to win friends and influence people. This was actually my last year's board. Thank you, time to reconnect. So you just literally, and I get a whole stack of, the pages that I've torn out, start cutting them out. And I talk in my book about different ways that you can do your vision board. And it kind of depends on how you think. as you can see with mine, I don't have like categories. Some people like to do a corner on money, and then one on travel, and one on, you know, just different things. It could be on friends, maybe exercise. I tend to just put it all together and make it fun and colorful. But like I said, keeping it up in front of where I work is just always reminding me. And one thing that I learned, if there's like, maybe you're working towards a goal of a certain type of body, maybe you want to be a bodybuilder, or maybe just get increased muscles. So this person, I hope you can see this. I really like her body, but I put my face on top because your brain does something really pretty cool. If you see that other person, you don't really believe you can do it. So to put my face there with the body, it gives me a very clear picture of what I'm looking for. So I don't know if Jessica wanted to come on and share anything about her experience with dream boards or vision boards, and if not, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I am here.
Oh, good.
I am a firm believer in vision boards. A long time ago, I was actually, I guess, like an independent contractor for Amway. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
Yes, I have.
Would go to like weekly meetings and, excuse me, like big conferences, and vision boards were always a big topic. And that's kind of stuck with me. I'm no longer doing that, but it has been something that I've carried with me. And I typically will do them kind of like a very general one for a year with like different goals that I have. I am currently, like, my big goal for this year is to save up to buy a house. That is kind of like what I am in life right now, my husband and I. And so that's really big. So I just started creating one for that, and just putting together things of like a dream home. And not that my first home has to have all of those things, but to see it in front of my face all the time is such a big motivating factor. And I'm also a firm believer that we do get unmotivated at times, and it's hard to keep going, and the long hours and things like that when you're working towards a goal like that. But to have it constantly in front of me and to know that I am working for something that great that's gonna, be so rewarding is like such a big driving force when it comes to the long hours and things like that. So
yeah. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And that's so cool, because you're like, a year from now, when you look back at that dream board and you can see what you've accomplished. I mean, honestly, it makes me cry, and I don't even know you, Jessica, but it's so cool because it really does make a difference what you're putting in front of your eyes and what you believe. One thing that I mentioned in my book about money, and about homes, Jessica, that might help you, is when you do purchase your home, if you're able to add any money towards the principal, and I go into more details in it, but there's so much, like when you first get a mortgage, that goes that you're just paying on this big principal, but you can actually do it like a double payment, and it cuts your payment in half. Like how many years, if it was 30 years, it'd cut it into 15 years. And it's something banks don't talk about because they'd rather collect more of your money.
Yeah.
My mom has been a realtor for like 40 years, and she taught my husband and I that when we bought our first condo downtown Chicago about 30 years ago. And it was amazing that we had paid off for the condo, and it was just, then we had all that cash for our next house. So congratulations, that is awesome. And I really want to encourage everybody, if you have not done this before, invite some friends over and just do it. It is so much fun. It's so creative, and it just makes your dreams really, and then I actually always post it on social media because I want to be held accountable, and I think it also inspires people. I have some pretty big goals on this board, and the best of the best, and just like, that's what I want. So if you do one, I think Stephanie has my Instagram information on this. This screen is so different than I've ever looked at, so I'm sorry if I can see you. I mean, I can't see anybody, just see circles. But anyway, my information is on there, and I'd love for you to share with me what you create. So I love that. Okay, the fourth power. So we have become a master at remembering names, pay yourself first, are you dreaming? And then the last one is always be adventurous. So raise your hand if you have a race that you've signed up for that's coming up in the next few months. A race or something that's kind of taking you out of your comfort zone. Okay, I see Jessica. I don't know if that's a new hand or if that's from before. Anybody doing the Tobacco Half Marathon coming up, or maybe a 5K, or all right, maybe not, but I tend to do that. Like in the beginning of the year, I'll look at like upcoming races. My husband and I like to run, and we've signed up for a couple races. But what I want to tell you first that Stephanie heard on this podcast I did, and she said, please share this. I joined, this kind of goes back to networking. I joined the most incredible group online. It's a virtual international group called Build Your Life Resume. And Jesse Itzler, Jesse, and then last name is Itzler, is the founder of this club, Build Your Life Resume. And I would recommend following him for a couple of reasons. One, he's an incredible speaker. He has been very, very successful in his life, and he's married to Sarah Blakely, who just sold Spanx. So if you know Spanx, a huge company that is based in Atlanta, really cool couple. But so our group every month has a challenge, and there's always a physical challenge, but we do like reading, we do a lot of different challenges. But one challenge last May was a plank challenge, and I'm a little competitive. In this challenge, we had to do 1 minute per day, so extra per day. So May 3rd, we had to hold a plank for 3 minutes. Some people would do 3 1 minutes. I decided when I started that I wouldn't go to my knees. I would just be 100% on my forearms. And you can move a little bit, but you know, it's always like you're not breaking plank. And what was really neat is there was a charity that was looking for some extra funds, and it was like day 28. So that day I planked 28 minutes, and I thought, you know what, I can help them raise money. So I went, live on my Instagram page, and I said, I am raising money for this foundation, and every dollar that is matched, every dollar donated, I will match. Well, we raised over $1,800. It was just in a couple days. So on May 31st, I was supposed to plank 31 minutes, and I was just so fired up by the energy that people were giving and the money people were giving that I planked 35 minutes. So that is my new goal, and I'm just waiting for somebody that wants to challenge me, because I'm sure I'll have to try to break it. But the thing that is the most exciting for me this year that my husband and I are doing is an event that Jesse Itzler started. It's called 29029 Everesting. And if anybody's heard of it, raise your hand. There's only 250 people that can do each weekend competition. So it is one mountain, and we're climbing Snow Basin in Utah, August 19th and 20th. And I'm sharing this because I really want to encourage you to sign up for something that is so out of your comfort zone that will really make you a better person and kind of scare you at the same time, and make you really, really proud. So this weekend we have 36 hours to climb. We go 13 climbs up the mountain, and we take a gondola down, and it's equivalent to 29,029 feet, which is the vertical height of Mount Everest, which is the highest mountain in the world. Each climb up is 2.3 miles. So it'll be about 30 miles when we're finished. And like I said, we have 36 hours to complete this. So we have been literally every single day just either running or working on the treadmill. We're doing like 12% incline, for 30 minutes. And then starting in a month, we have a coach that is actually really helping us. So, I mean, I'm sweating even thinking about it, because it is a really, really big competition. And I think about 62% finish. Of course, I'm going to finish. In fact, on my board, I have right here this. It's kind of hard to show. This is so big, but if you can see this top corner, there's a triangle, and it says hike up, gondola down, repeat, and we do that 13 times. So that's just something that I'm seeing here, you know, thrill of challenge. So if you'd like to follow me on Instagram at Dare to Dream with Robin, I'd love that, because then you can follow along with our attempt to get a red hat at the very end. It's like everybody's like, they want that red hat. Not that a red hat is even a huge deal, but it signifies that we reached this amazing accomplishment. So so those are the 4 powers, and I'd love for you, if you're interested. I think this is the best graduation gift. You can give this to yourself. You can give it to a friend, maybe one of your classmates, but you can buy it on Amazon, and I am just super proud of it. And I really hope that what I shared today inspires you, maybe gave you an idea or two. And yeah, so I'd love to open it up to any questions. We have a couple of minutes if you'd like to unmute yourself, and please ask any questions. At least somebody say something so I know that this was not recorded. This was recorded.
Hey, Robin. This is Jessica again.
Hi,
Will
Jessica.
you repeat with the Build Your Life resume? Will you repeat the name of who the founder?
Yes, Jesse, Jesse, and the last name is spelled Itzler. And if you follow him today, he is, if you've ever heard of an ultra Ironman, he is attempting this. And unlike Jesse, he is not prepared for this. He has 4 little kids, and he's been traveling a ton. His wife just sold Spanx. So it's a like 6.2 mile swim,
Oh, wow.
a 264 mile bike race, and a 52 mile run.
That is absurd.
And actually, I heard about him 2 years ago. He was doing this event called Last Man Standing, and I was following Sarah Blakely. Definitely follow Sarah Blakely if you're not already following her, because she is so inspiring and just amazing. One of my true inspirations. And she kind of makes, her husband and she are very different, and she was talking about her husband was doing this crazy race. It literally is like 100 miles, and it's the last man standing, or woman. And so I started following him, like, who is this crazy guy? And after he finished, they decided to create this group called Build Your Life Resume. And if you follow me, stay tuned, because we're working on a subgroup for college students, because it's about $600 to become a member now. And if you can see this huge calendar, that says Build Your Life Resume on it, that's part of the group. It's a big ass calendar is what he calls it. And I plan my entire life, like fun things first, because business will always fill in. But if you don't plan out your life, you know, like for example, I just went to visit my 85-year-old mom. If that's not planned, it doesn't happen. So we're working on getting a group, a subsidiary for if you're in college or, you know, recent graduate, that is maybe, I don't even know how much it'll be, like $50 or $100, and you could be a part of hearing. I mean, it's the best.
Uh-oh. I apologize.
Don't worry. The reason why I wrote this book is because I saw other people writing books. I'm like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So, you know, just encouraging to be around people with really big dreams and big goals, because you will go so much further. So yes, Jesse Itzler is his name. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. And you said you and your husband like running. There is another, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Nick Bare.
No.
B-A-R. So he owns a sports nutrition company, but he also does like the ultra marathons, and he just did one of the 100-mile runs. And my my husband is a mixed martial artist professionally. So he's all into athletics and running and stuff. But we follow him, and it's very interesting to watch. Like, we watch his YouTube channel and things like that, and it's cool to see and keep up with, because he is very driven, which at that level you absolutely have to be. So just throwing that out there in case you were interested.
I appreciate it. Is it Baird with a D?
So Nick and then B-A-R-E.
Oh, Bear. Okay.
Yep.
All right. See, and that actually, because I did not hear it completely, but it actually reinforces, it's kind of like what I was talking about with remembering names. If you're not sure if somebody has a different name, ask them how to spell it. I always ask people how to spell their name if it's something a little bit different. And even my name, I'll say, my name's Robin, just like the bird, because I'm really into birds. I have a bird on the cover here, and it's spelled like the robin. So even when you're introducing your own self, you can give examples like that to help people remember your names. So, but thank you, Jessica. I appreciate the comments and the recommendation to follow Nick Bear.
You are very welcome.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
I actually have a question, if that's okay.
Yes. What is your name?
My name's Marcelina.
Oh, there it is. Sorry. Okay, I'm learning the screen now. Now I see it. Okay, hi, Marcelina. Beautiful name. I love your name.
Thank you, thank you. I actually came extremely late. Unfortunately, my work ran over, so I've only caught about 15 minutes of the presentation, unfortunately. But I wanted to comment on what I did see, which was the vision board.
Yes.
I had done like a vision board about 2 years ago. It's like when we first shut down for the pandemic. And I'm not gonna lie, I put some pretty unrealistic things on that board when I first did it. But like two things was kind of strange to me. Things that I expected to occur kind of occurred, but like in ways I didn't expect. And then things that I like really wanted didn't happen, but like better things happened. Like better things replaced that. So it was like such
so awesome. That is a great story. And I truly believe when you put it out into the universe, what you're looking for, it happens. And like you said, it wasn't exactly what you thought, but it was better. I mean, how awesome is that? Oh, that's such a great story. Thank you, Marcelina, for sharing that. Very, very cool. Oh, it makes me, I love hearing stories like that because, and like you said, some of the pictures you cut out, or maybe they're, you can type things out. Maybe it's a financial goal that you have, or, the house. And what my one friend does is she actually puts a sticker on each picture. And when she accomplishes that goal, just like those little round stickers, she puts a date as to when she accomplished the goal. And I thought that was really good because then you look at your board, sometimes, with the pandemic, you think, gosh, I don't feel like I accomplished a lot. And you look at that and you say, wow, I really did a lot this year. So thank you for sharing that. Any other questions or comments?
Hi, Robin. It's Stephen.
Stephen?
I just wanted to say, I think this is awesome. I think you're really inspiring, and I think setting goals and achieving them. There's nothing greater than being able to follow through with things that you aspire to be. And I think it's awesome what you've accomplished with the book and all that. It's just as a testament to that for myself. 5 years ago, we were in a financial position where I didn't want to be there anymore. And I kind of started all over again. And the first two books and I was kind of plateauing in my career. I'm 41. And then I was introduced to two books by a friend, and it was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie and The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah, I have both those books right on my shelf right here. Yep. Awesome books.
Yep, and The Richest Man in Babylon was definitely a game changer, being a fictional book about how you should live your life financially. And how I was introduced to them was by Jim Rohn. I don't know
Yep.
if you know who he
I
is.
love Jim Rohn. I've
Yeah.
listened to his tapes for years. He's incredible.
And he, so I was kind of told that, you know, your mentors in life don't necessarily have to be living. You can, there's so much stuff out there to research people who have passed away too, to still be your mentors through life. And the Richest Man in Babylon and How to Win Friends and Influence People were they're life changers as far as books to read. And they put me on this journey for 5 years where when the pandemic came, you know, it didn't matter if my wife or I lost our jobs. We were great. We were set financially to be able to, to be able to do things. So I'm just saying that all 4 of the things that you put on here, me going back to school was a dream.
Oh, I love that.
I already have a degree, but I wanted one in finance, and all that stuff kind of led me down this path. And The Richest Man in Babylon keeps being reintroduced into the world with a new forward. I think the latest one has Susie Orman.
Yes.
She just said, change man to woman and you'll be fine. But it's, I just as a testament, just to say, you know, these are great points that you're making, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your comments, and definitely everyone should pick up both those books. Like I said, How to Win Friends and Influence People was the book that completely changed my life. And I like to think of this, and my ego might be a little bit too big, but I like to think of this as the next step or a sequel or maybe companion to How to Win Friends and Influence People, because I add a little bit more to it, you know, like money and adventures and dreaming, because I think it's a whole package. And
yeah, well, those books were written in the 20s and 30s, so
yes,
we need
exactly.
an updated version.
Yes, yep. Well, thank you so much, Stephen. I really appreciate you sharing, and congratulations on, you know, achieving your dream of going back to school, doing something that, you know, I think a lot of people, if you go through college, and maybe if you're going back to college, our passions have changed. My majors were economics and art history, and I was an auctioneer. I had a dream job. I loved it. And, you know, then I was home for 17 years raising our children, and then started my own wellness business. But it's very fluid. You know, we can use what we've learned in those different areas of our life moving forward. So it sounds like you are doing that, and I wish you great success. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? This is a great
one more question.
I love this. Okay. What was that?
May I ask one more question?
Yes, absolutely, Marcelina.
Yes. How do you pace yourself with patience? Because for me personally, so like when I was like 17, 18, I graduated high school very early. I graduated at 16. I had started Wake Tech.
Wow.
I was on the fast track to like getting my degree and then going to like a 4-year university. And unfortunately, I got sick for a year. Then had to take 2 years of rehabilitation and physical therapy and whatnot. And it was really hard. And then I ended up, of course, you know, being able to graduate and then going to the university. But then the pandemic hit, and like I was a Chinese and Japanese and Korean major, and I had to, that program completely got shut down at NC State. So now I'm back at Wake Tech, and I'm just kind of stressed out just on just like, how do you pace the vision that you see for yourself? Because like I'm now 26,
right?
And I really, well, I'm about to turn 26, but like I want a full-time job now, but I can't because I'm in school too. So it's just really kind of like frustrating and suffocating. I feel like I'm kind of boxed in.
What do you want to do? What if you were to, when you graduate, what is your dream job?
I feel like that's such an interesting question, because my dream job is just to pursue every avenue I possibly can. So at least whatever I have the capability of. So like when I was from a small age, I've always wanted to open like a bakery and tea shop. Because it's a part of my culture. My father is British and Dutch and French.
Okay.
So that's a huge part of our culture, is like tea. And then I also would really love to start like a small dance academy as well for like mental health awareness, and like create pieces built off of like mental health awareness and not them being something taboo. Because my mother's a psychologist, and I've
Mm,
also struggled because of like being in the hospital for a year with my
right,
own mental health battles. Like and those things don't really go away.
right.
Um, so those are like kind of my two worlds. And of course, I want to do something with language as well, where it can make everybody feel included and whatnot. And I do want to go overseas to work at ages. So that's my thing, is like I'm all over the place, and I'm not
Yeah.
sure what
Well,
path to start and how the others will slowly trickle in.
right. Well, I'd love to connect with you on Instagram, because I can just tell that you're going to be doing some really great things. Um, my advice is, I mean, I think it's hard. Well, first of all, for pacing, you'd ask, kind of patience. Um, I like to relate everything to training for a half marathon or a marathon. You can't just go out and run 8 miles. You need to pace yourself, so it's 2 miles and then maybe 3 and then cut back to 2. So it's kind of like this. And what I do a lot, and Stephanie knows this from following me on social media, I celebrate every little accomplishment. And based on what you're saying and sharing with everyone, you've had some challenges, some very big challenges, and the fact that you recovered, you healed, you are back in school, you're back in college, you have some huge goals. I think making a new vision board would be really good. Maybe, I know you've already reached some, but I would make sure that those things that you just mentioned are on there. Maybe they are already. And I don't know, if I guess I would choose one of those, and you could either partner with somebody, or I don't know where you live. I actually know a lot of bakers, and you could, I mean, I would love to connect with you. So I have a lot of ideas for you if you'd like to reach out to me. And I think, so you're not frustrated being in school, doing something just that you can get your foot in the door, just something else to kind of keep you excited and motivated to finish and graduate. So you have that behind you, and then you're going to do great things. I can just tell, Marcelina. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you. And I definitely will connect with you through Instagram.
Perfect. Good. Any other questions? We're going a little bit over. Is that okay, Stephanie?
Oh, that's fine. You have so many great pearls of wisdom to impart. I just want to let everybody know that I've shared the link to your book in the chat. I've also typed in Dare to Dream with Robin for those who want to follow you on Instagram. And if anybody's looking to challenge themselves, there's a 5K through Wake Tech this weekend. Push outside our comfort zone if we want to accomplish a goal. That's an immediate goal. And I also typed in the title to the books we've referenced, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, which I highly recommend. Also, Stephen had mentioned The Richest Man in Babylon, so I've included that in the chat for the group if anybody's interested, along with Jesse, is it Itzler or Eitzler?
Yes, Jesse Itzler.
Itzler's name, Build Your Life Resume, so students have all those resources available that you've referenced today. And if anybody has any questions, that's great if you're interested. If not, we can end today because it's been so helpful, with chock full of information. And I really genuinely appreciate that you're here today to talk to us. And even I've learned lots of great information.
Thank you.
So thank you.
You're very welcome. I love this group, and I love what all of you are doing. And I'm just, you're the very first group that I have been able to share my book to. So how about that? So thank you for having me.
I'm so honored. I know, Robin was my neighbor for a very long time, so I'm so glad to get to know you in that way. But I've also enjoyed, following all your adventures and goals and all your life celebrations on, social media as well. You're really inspirational and beautiful inside and out.
Well, thank you very much. I wish you all the best, and yeah, go reach for those dreams and keep me posted. I want to hear wins and challenges. I'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much, Stephanie.
Oh, sure. Thank you. All right. If anybody's new and wants to hang out and learn more about this chapter, feel free. If not, Robin, you can just press the red leave button.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Hope to see you soon. Let's go to that market in Durham.
Okay, we'll go. Scrap exchange. Yeah, Jessica can join us. So, all right. Very good. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thanks, Robin.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
I'm going to stop
Thank you.
recording. Yeah.